All right, let's talk about your body's secret language. Seriously, we're going to decode some pretty surprising signals our bodies send us. Things like muscle aches, even digestion, and it all ties back to protein. You're going to be shocked when you realize the clues have been right there all along.
So let's start with a question you've probably never asked yourself. Can your gas patterns, yes, really, actually signal that you're losing muscle? It sounds weird, but stick with me.
Okay, how about this one? Is it even possible to heal nerve damage? We're talking serious issues like in your hand, without ever exercising that specific spot? I know, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but this is a real clue about how deeply our bodies are connected.
And last but not least, let's talk about what you're putting in your body. That protein shake you drink, is it just food, or could it be something much, much more? A kind of precisely engineered formula for rebuilding yourself from the inside out. See? All these questions are connected. So let's start digging for some answers.
All right, our investigation starts in a place you probably wouldn't expect, your gut. Yeah, we're going to uncover this incredibly direct link between what's happening in your digestive system and the health of your muscles. So the big idea here is something called the gut-muscle axis. And honestly, just think of it like a hotline, a direct two-way highway between your gut and your muscles. It means what happens in your gut, well, it definitely doesn't stay in your gut. It's sending messages to your muscles, and your muscles are talking right back.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. A super simple symptom can actually be a huge signal. Let's say you start taking more protein, and suddenly you notice, well, more foul-smelling gas. That's your gut basically shouting, hey, we're not using this protein right. It means it's just sitting and fermenting in your colon instead of going to your muscles. But, and this is the key, if that gas starts to decrease after a couple of weeks, that's an amazing sign. It means your body's figured it out and is now sending that protein exactly where it needs to go, to your muscles for repair.
And this really sums it up perfectly. The source puts it like this: the reduction in gas is indirect proof that the protein went to your muscles, not your gut. Your own digestive system is literally giving you a report card on your muscle health. How cool is that? But, the gut is only one piece of this puzzle. The next clue involves the big boss, your brain.
Okay, on to clue number 2. We're moving from the gut up to the central command center, the nervous system. This is where we get to solve that wild mystery of how someone's hand paralysis could actually get better just by adding protein with 0 direct hand exercises. Sounds impossible, right? Well, let's break it down.
The process is just fascinating. When you exercise, and I mean any of your muscles, they release this hormone called irisin. This stuff travels through your bloodstream, gets to your brain, and then tells your brain to produce something called BDNF. And the best way to think of BDNF is like Miracle-Gro for your brain fertilizer. It creates this perfect, rich environment for nerve cells to grow, to repair, and to build stronger connections.
So the brain is all prepped and ready for repairs thanks to that BDNF. But where does the actual fix happen? It happens right here, at this critical spot called the neuromuscular junction, or NMJ. The easiest way to picture it is as the power plug that connects a nerve to a muscle. See, weakness or paralysis isn't always because the muscle is broken. Sometimes it's just a bad connection. The plug is loose. And protein? Protein provides the actual raw materials, the hardware, to rebuild that plug and get it securely connected again.
Now, this entire process becomes absolutely critical as we get older. A younger body, it's super sensitive to protein. But as we age, our muscles can develop what's called anabolic resistance. It's like your muscles have noise-canceling headphones on, and they just can't hear the protein signal to rebuild. And to make it even worse, your body starts prioritizing what it calls survival tissues, your organs. So the protein you eat gets kind of hijacked by your gut and liver before it even has a chance to get to your muscles. And that's exactly why just eating more protein often isn't enough as we age.
Which brings us perfectly to our third clue. We're going to break down this homemade protein shake that seems so simple on the surface. But when you look closer, it's actually a masterclass in nutritional science. It's pretty genius.
So the real genius here isn't just about cramming in protein. It's about strategic layering. Think about it. You've got the fast-absorbing whey from the milk powder for that instant post-workout fix. Then you've got the slow-absorbing soy, which is kind of like a time-release capsule, feeding your muscles for hours. And on top of that, you have gelatin for your joints and almond powder for healthy fats. It's not just a shake, it's a complete recovery tool, all built from super simple ingredients.
And hey, let's not forget about how powerful this stuff is. Your typical store-bought supplement might give you, 20 grams of protein? This simple homemade mix, it's packing a solid 30 grams. So it's not just smarter, it's actually stronger too.
But here's the final piece of the puzzle, and it's all about timing. The person who created this shake drinks it right after their morning hike. And that little window of time, nutritionists call that the golden time. It's because right after you exercise, your muscles are like a dry, wrung-out sponge. So when you pour this nutrient-packed shake in, they don't just sip it, they soak it up, instantly and completely.
Okay, so we followed clues from the gut to the brain and into our food. Now it's time to put it all together and reveal the one single underlying problem that connects every single one of them.
And here it is, the most important point. All these things that seem totally separate, the gas, the nerve weakness, that nagging muscle pain, they're not separate problems at all. They are all just symptoms of one single fundamental issue. Your body's protein allocation system is breaking down. It's just not sending the protein where it's needed most anymore.
So how do you fix it, especially when you're dealing with an older system and that anabolic resistance we talked about? Well, this is the answer. Exercise acts like an address label you slap on a package. When you work out, you send this incredibly powerful signal to your body that basically says, hey, forget the default delivery to the gut and liver. This protein package needs to be rerouted to my muscles right now. Exercise is the non-negotiable instruction that overrides the whole system.
You know, the takeaway from all this is actually incredibly empowering. All those little signals from your body, the aches, the gas, the fatigue, they are not just random annoyances. They are data, real actionable data. You just have to learn how to read it.
And here's how you can start right now. This checklist basically turns all our clues into a practical screening tool. First, do you have a chronic pain in one specific muscle that just won't go away? Second, think about that gas pattern. Did you notice it go up and then back down when you increased your protein? Third, have other little issues, maybe like acid reflux when you exercise, started to just disappear? And finally, the big one, do you suddenly feel like your exercise is actually working again? These are the real-world signs that your body's allocation system is getting back on track. Because in the end, all these positive changes, they aren't some kind of miracle. And this quote just says it all. This isn't a miracle. It's your body working normally again. You're simply giving your body the raw materials and the right instructions it was missing to do its job. It's just your body getting back to normal.
So, we'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you know what to listen for, what subtle signals is your body sending you? It's time to stop ignoring them and maybe, just maybe, start listening. You might be really surprised by what you find out.